In today's video, we are going to go over exactly how to start and create a successful podcast in 2023, the exact tips and the 4 steps I would follow if I was starting from zero today. Let's dive in. What is going on? Welcome back to the podcast and the YouTube show. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Luis Diaz. I run a company called Top 10 Podcasts, and we help people launch, grow, and scale podcasts from zero to millions of downloads. And we're doing this about 5 years. We launched about 160 to 170 podcasts or something like that. Anyways, my job on this video is to help you decipher the 4 steps I would take if I was starting from zero. I started, just for context, I started back in 2016. I spent $12 on a course and taught myself how to podcast, and been learning and growing ever since. But if I was starting from zero today, these are the 4 steps I would not skip. Okay, there's a lot of other things you can do, a lot of other things you can spend time on or invest money into, but these are the 4 steps. If you're looking to start a podcast and grow it successfully in 2023, these are the 4 tactical, specific steps I would follow. Let's dive into number 1. Step number 1, if I was starting from zero, from today, I would do this. I would go to chartable.com. That is a website that lists all of the top ranking shows in Apple and Spotify. Then they also have their own ranking system. But I would want to go there and I would look at the top 50 shows in the specific category that I would want to be in. So if I was building, let's just say, a health and fitness podcast, which was the first area I started in, I would look at the top 50 health and fitness podcasts in that category or in that specific category. Listen to them. I'd look at the reviews. I look at the titles. I look at the episodes that are working, all right? Just to get an idea of what's working. We're going to maybe model that content later. But that's the first thing. After we're done looking at all that content on chartable.com, looking at the top 50 shows in your specific category, I'm going to look at ask myself a couple of things, really. Number 1, I'm going to ask myself, how can I be different? What about my situation, my personality, my own journey in maybe, say, health and fitness can I bring to the table that's different? So there's a lot of people out there in that space. I picked that category because it's a very popular and very competitive category, but ask yourself, how can I be different from these top 50 shows? I'm not trying to be different from all the other 2 million shows out there. I'm trying to be unique and different compared to these top 50 ranking podcasts in that category. All right, number 2, I would look at what is missing from these shows, okay? So a lot of them will do interview shows, they'll do solos, they'll do Q&As. Like, is there another format they're missing? Is there something that I can bring that's different? Or more, better yet, looking at the reviews, this will really tell you this. And that's like, what's missing from these podcasts? Is there something that people are saying in the reviews that's like, yeah, I love this, but I don't like this so much? Or I wish they would do this. Can I weave that into my show and make it different and unique? The third thing, and this is like for those business owners out there, if you have a show, or if you have an audience already, maybe on Instagram or maybe on TikTok or an email list, like whatever it is, you can ask your audience, what do they want? It sounds super simple, but what do they want? Like, what does your ideal customer, the customer who's paying you money, for my business owners and entrepreneurs out there, like, go and speak to the people who are paying you money and say, hey, I'm launching a podcast, but I want it to be more like free coaching. I want it to be more like high-level consulting for almost like a one-on-one chat kind of feel. What is it that you would want? Or put differently, if we were doing a consulting call and you hired me to do consulting, what is the 1 or 2 things you would want to know that you would be willing to pay me money for? Now, that question is going to elicit a way more powerful response than just saying, what do you want me to talk about, right? So you can use that consulting kind of framing to get a really good answer from somebody, get a very specific answer, right? When you put money behind it, it tends to make people think a little bit harder. And then the 4th thing I'd ask in this first step of like just doing our research is I would want to look at the different titles we mentioned before and the topics that were working, okay? So I want to go and catalog, like if you go into chartable.com and you can go into categories, you can also look at the top 50 most of the best, most downloaded or most popular episodes in that time frame, right? It's going to change a lot throughout the months and weeks. However, you can go in there and just take a look and say, hey, what is working right now? What episodes, what type of content? Are they talking mostly about drop sets? Are they talking about ketogenic dieting? Are they talking about other things, right? What is it? And it's going to change overall, but maybe you'll be able to get, and this is what my hope for you is that you'll be able to get or see patterns. I'm not looking for specific winners. I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking for what is the data telling me over and over and over again that I can actually apply to my show. So that is step number one. Go and research and go ask yourself and your customers those kind of questions using chartable.com. Step number 2, I would go to Amazon.com and I would buy this microphone. This is an ATR 2100X. I've got it actually, I'm not using it today, but it's a great mic. You can see it right here. This mic is one of my favorite mics of all time. Almost knocked over my water on my desk. This mic is almost one of my favorite mics of all time. I used to have an older version. This is the newer version. It's about 70 or 80 bucks USD online on Amazon. Go ahead and get it. Do not overcomplicate your life with expensive technology and expensive equipment. Okay. This is by far the thing that I see a lot of our like higher level clients who already are running 7 and 8 figure businesses. They want to complicate the game by getting a studio. If you're in a position to do that, that's totally fine. What I'm trying to tell you is that you don't need that equipment starting out. You definitely do not need to spend more than $150 on getting your podcast started. That's literally all you need. I have this mic. It's about 80 bucks. Like I said, it is very consistent. You can use it on your mic or your laptop. You just plug it right into your laptop and you can go. And that's the great thing about it. So you don't need to overcomplicate things. I caution you, do not use it. You can also just use your iPhone like I'm doing right now as a camera and you can record great content like that. That's the second step. Go and buy that microphone. And then you can plug it into your laptop and you can start recording right away. You can use software like Zoom. You can use software like Riverside, like I'm doing right now. And we'll put the links in the description below for this. But you can also use a cool tool that I've used as well. This is called Elgato Epoch Cam, which is a free software that allows you to use your computer or your phone as an external micro or external camera. All kinds of things there. But step number 2, go buy the mic. If you have a laptop already, you can just go ahead and plug it into your laptop, which most of you do. And that's pretty much it. It's all you need to do for this step. So super simple. Go do that. Don't make it more complicated than it has to be. Step number 3, go and sign up for Captivate.fm. So I'd use a lot of hosting providers, and Captivate is basically going to be the place where you're going to store all of your podcast content, and then it's going to distribute it out to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be listened to. There's a lot of other ones out there. I know a lot of people are super big fans of Anchor or Libsyn. Personally, I would choose Captivate, and here are my top 3 reasons why I would choose Captivate over those other companies. So number 1, you can dynamically insert ads into your podcast. So if you run a business and you are doing a Black Friday promo, you can slot ads into all of your previous episodes for free on Captivate. Okay. It's very quick and very easy. You just record a little commercial and you can slot them right in. And then when Black Friday is over, you can remove them. No problem. Very seamless feature. So that's a really cool feature. Not everybody offers that. Captivate's probably one of the 4 or 5 that I know of that does. And it comes with their standard package. So you don't need to upgrade to a more expensive level to get that kind of software technology. Number 2, they actually let you provide or make as many podcasts as you want. So I can create 5, 10, I can create as many podcasts as I want, and they won't charge me more. So this is great if you have multiple ideas for podcasts. You can go into your backend on on Captivate, and you can literally just go and create a new podcast like that. It's super cool. Most other companies nowadays will charge you for that. You have to buy like a separate account. It's not cool. That's a great feature with Captivate that you can do. And then the last thing I love here is that you actually don't have to pay for extra features. So all the features come with their plan. That's a 17 bucks a month for the year. Whether you're on the $17 plan or you're on the $44 or $50, whatever it is, dollar plan, you have the same exact type of features and technology and stats and all the cool stuff without having to pay more. For me, it's really cool. It's really easy. And then the last bonus thing here with Captivate is that you can actually create team like sub accounts. So if you have maybe an editor whose job is to go in and upload the audio and you don't want him to have your access, your login, you can create a separate access level for him. And now he can go in with his own email, and it's super secure, way more safe than giving your password and login credentials to somebody like a freelancer. That's why I love Captivate. Check it out. It'll be in the description or in the show notes below if you have any other questions. Check it out. Step number 4. Step number 4 is going to be to not skimp out on your podcast artwork, okay? This is the thing that makes you stand out from other people in your space. A lot of people will go cheap on here, or they'll skip it, or they'll just kind of rush through this and want to get right into the recording. Honestly, if I could go back, I would spend more money on my podcast artwork. I would get it done professionally. I'd probably get another photo shoot done, and I would spend time because that is the first impression people get of your podcast. It's super important. it really either sets you up as, looking like a professional or looking like a hobbyist. And if you're somebody who wants to make money with this, if you want to be able to get bigger guests on the show, then they're going to want to see that you have professional artwork and that you look good. Unfortunately, in the way this world works, people judge you by your cover. And they're going to judge your podcast by your artwork cover as well. Make sure you have good artwork. You can go to Fiverr.com. You can go to Upwork.com. If you work with a professional podcast production company like ours, then you can obviously get a really good artwork as well. But either way, however you do it, make sure you spend time on it. Make sure they have, and a simple hack to this is like, make sure you're getting 5 to 6 different mocks, different angles or different looks of your artwork. You don't want to just be set on just making one. Have whoever's doing this work produce 5 or 6 or however many different versions of the artwork so that you can see different angles. And then you want to go and test it and compare it to other top ranking shows in your category. So that's super important. Make sure you don't skip out on that. And then I would say as a caveat to that, also all of your titles or all your thumbnails should also really be done or have a really high standard for your thumbnails as well. Because if you're doing a video podcast like I think you should be doing, that's going to be a huge piece to getting more people to click, stop, and look at your stuff. So the bonus tip I have for you that I would not skip in 2023 to grow a successful podcast is to start a video podcast. There's a huge reason why I'm doing this on video and not doing this just audio only like I have many times in the past. And that is because YouTube actually was recently announced as the biggest platform for podcast listeners, meaning it has more listeners than Apple and Spotify, which is crazy. But if you're going to start a podcast this year or any year after this, it's to make sure you start a video podcast. It is critical. Not to mention the monetization capability on YouTube is way easier and way simpler, I would say, than on a just audio only podcast. Now, if you're already launching, if you already have a podcast that's audio only, the idea or the trick here is to make sure you start recording videos for your stuff. You're probably already doing video interviews. Now it's time to kind of step it up and start doing video solos. Okay, like I said before with some of the equipment, it doesn't have to be hard. I'm literally using Riverside.fm and my phone, a $10 green screen back behind me, and a little mic that plugs into my phone. So it doesn't have to be hard. Start doing videos and start spending more time doing video podcasting, not just audio podcasting, because that is truly where the future is going, as you can see by the article that we've popped up here on the screen. That is it. If you have questions, I would love to hear them. Put them in the comments below. Or if you're on the audio version of this, I still love you. Make sure you drop a review and ask your question there. That's the easiest place. I always read in my reviews, and there's an easy way to get your question answered on the show. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Take care. Bye for now.